Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of It Takes Work. Stacy here,
Lonnie here.
and this is our November episode following Thanksgiving. We hope you all had a wonderful holiday. We had a wonderful holiday, and we are back with another episode. In tonight's episode, if you are viewing from YouTube, you see the title, Cherish the Day, Don't Take Each Other for Granted. Or if you are listening to us on the podcast platforms. Now, if you are watching us on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't want to like, comment, and subscribe, that's okay too. Like the video, comment on the video, or if you just want to subscribe, you can do that too. And then if you're listening to us, please follow our podcast, leave us a review. It helps. So, Mr. Wilson.
Yep.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, no complaints here.
Okay. So, y'all, we are one episode away from the season finale, season 2.
The vacation time.
Blew right on by. Listen to me. We can't wait. Okay? We love that little hiatus. So, But we do have a special treat for you guys in our season finale. So we hope you will tune in. And yeah, so let's get into it.
So you're just going to leave a cliffhanger.
You know what? I know it's not a cliffhanger because you are a part of this show. And so it's not my fault that you don't go back and look at the episode guide that we put together months ago. Okay? So, no, I'm not going to tell him because he's going to do his work, So, yeah. Oh, and shout out to our daughter, Sydney Wilson of Sydney Wilson Art, who put together the intro for us. And so, see, y'all, we trying to be official. Y'all take the time out to listen to our podcast, and we want to make sure it's something worth your while. So thank you so much, Sydney, for that beautiful intro. And if you are interested in getting that type of media curated, contact her, Sydney Wilson Art. You can find her on Instagram at Sydney_Wilson_art. She has a website where you can reach out to her to find out her commission availability and all of those things. She's a talented artist who can do a number of things. And so if you are a business brand and you are looking to get some media made for your business, give her a call. So, all right, sir. When we put this episode, when we came up with the concept of this episode, we were at the time watching season 2 of Cherish the Day. This was before we moved. This was like sometime last year, late last year. And so the subtitle, Don't Take Each Other for Granted or Not Taking Each Other for Granted, it kind of, the way that it meshes for me is when you think about that, like the song Cherish the Day, immediately the title, the premise of the show itself was actually based on the song by Sade. So if you don't know who Sade is, shame on you. Look her up. But Cherish the Day, when you think about that and you think about taking someone for granted, it really does mean, make the moment, take advantage of the experience. One of the things that I am actively doing for myself is trying to be more conscious of my surroundings. I do often have my phone in my hand. I'm always doing something, but I am doing a lot less scrolling. I may have specific times of the day where I'm scrolling and looking at media from the phone, but when I'm working now, I don't give as much screen time as I would normally give. I would normally give a little screen time in between meetings or in between working on something, or when I'm just sitting still. Now I'm just trying to be more conscious of what's happening around me, and expressing gratitude at the same time. So, and how does that tie back to my relationship? If I learn to cherish the day and what's happening around me, I'm less likely to take advantage or for granted the people, the moments, inside of the day that I am cherishing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, come on, Mr. Wilson, let's talk about it. Cherish the day. Don't take each other for granted.
It is a very commonplace topic when it comes to like couples or just people in general. Because you could be, taking your friends or your loved ones for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a very bad habit. So this is me calling myself to the carpet, but I have a very bad habit of keeping in contact with my family, especially my mother, on a regular.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I would probably call probably like once or twice a week. I mean, it could be more than that, but I'm trying to be more intentional with that because there's been times where I haven't called in like 2 or 3 weeks, and that it sucks for me and everything as a son. But just appreciating the people that you quote unquote love and giving them their flowers while they're actually here to accept them. And you want to make sure that people know how you feel about them and not wait until they're in the ground to do it.
Yeah. So you owned up to some stuff. I think we all can relate to that. I think we all have taken people for granted. I think we all have taken moments for granted, and especially in this age of this digital revolution and
Distraction
just
revolution
it's
is what it
distractions
is.
everywhere. It is distractions everywhere. Like everybody wants to curate content where they are. I still like I'm not even finna sit on this here good old podcast and tell y'all no lie. I still take pictures of my food. But the reason why I do, I'm gonna tell y'all, it used to be, oh, I want to post it. Half the time I don't even post it. I just be like, that was so good.
She cherished the
Let,
she
let me
cherished the moment.
let me tell y'all something. Take pictures of this food. So, and what I am starting to do more of, which I haven't done a very good job this year, is, more pictures. Like when I take pictures, literally getting them printed out to put in my photo albums. Like I need to get on that because I have a couple of empty photo albums that I really need to fill up with some things. But yeah, it really is about, for me, it's like making moments. I really want to cherish today. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, like the move that we moved to Florida, right? And where we live, for us, it's absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful. Like you walk outside to do your everyday regular whatever. And life can be really sucky. But you go outside and you get the opportunity to feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, see some beautiful foliage growing out of the ground that you may not have ever seen before, catch a glimpse of a sunset or even the sunrise and first thing in the morning. And it really does adjust your attitude. I mean, I know it does for me. What about you?
Oh yeah, definitely. When I go on my walks, so where we live, we're in this cul-de-sac, but it's actually farmland literally right behind our houses. So
Mm-hmm.
when I go for my walks, you'll see like they got like a little pond area. They got cows grazing. It's really beautiful and it's very soothing to your soul because
Mm-hmm.
you just have so much peace just being with nature and just unplugging from all of the mess that's just going on around in the world. It's just
Mm-hmm.
very relaxing. So I like to when I drive too. Is one thing for people who don't live in Florida to know. It's a lot of lakes around here,
Yeah.
so you just see just beautiful, just water, just sun glistening off of it. It's just really relaxes you.
Yeah. And so one of the ways, like I said, it all connects, right? You can take people for granted when you take just the small, intricate details of life for granted. And I'm really literally just learning how to just embrace it all. And it's something that I have to relearn, okay? Because we have been in this state of distraction, in this state of stimulation from a virtual reality that you lose sight of the actual tangible reality, right? And it really is a like you got to learn all over again. Like you don't think about the things that you didn't take that you weren't appreciative of. Like when we lived in Virginia, it was cold and whatever, but we had beautiful mountains.
Mhm.
We had beautiful rolling pastures. Some of the animals that you would see that were harmless. You would see deer. We used to have a rabbit
Rabbits.
who could care less who we were. We come out the house to go wherever we going. He looking at us like, how you doing? And going about his business, but you would see all kinds of
The
animals and
fall
stuff like
time is
that.
definitely
It
beautiful
was
too.
absolutely gorgeous. And so now that God has us here, it's almost like God is not necessarily forcing us, but God is like, oh, I'm going, you gonna realize and recognize what's happening around you. And so we do. So we have this home here. We open up the windows and open up the blinds and let the sunlight in. And there's a distinct difference in the air of the house and how it feels when we don't open up our blinds and stuff like that. So we let the sunlight in. It really is. It makes a huge difference. Now, what does this have to do with taking each other for granted? Again, just kind of trying to tie it all back together. And so I want to really kind of speak to and really get into this conversation with you, Mr. Wilson. Um, when you find yourself in this space where you're kind of taking the people in your life for granted, whether it be in your relationship or your children, or like you mentioned, your mother, when you find yourself in that space where you kind of veering off and you're taking people for granted, what are some of the things you do to kind of redirect yourself, come back around and get yourself together?
Well, first of all, you got to be honest with yourself and the direction your life is going in at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So say like if you are a creature of habit and you do certain things at certain times of the day, or you have like a set schedule of things you do on a regular, like you have like a regular routine.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't want to do is get into that rut
Mm-hmm.
of just keep doing those routines, or you start to veer off of the things that you used to do when it came to that particular person that you love and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a simple kiss on the cheek every day, or I love you, or just the little small tokens of things.
Mm-hmm.
If you just stop doing some of those things, and all of a sudden you just forget, you know, oh shoot, I didn't kiss her today. Oh, I didn't tell her I love her. And that stuff actually builds up after a while
Mm-hmm.
because you start like, oh, well, she don't mind.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
you.
the easiest way to fall into that rut of taking that person for granted is when you think that person's gonna be okay just taking whatever scraps you throw at them
Mm-hmm.
and they go love it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
And for as much as it's so crazy. We are such, and I mean this, I'm generalizing this across the human race. We are such like strange creatures in the sense of something can be presented to us in countless ways through countless external experiences, and it'll affect us in the moment, but as quick as it affects us, it disappears from our mind.
Mhm.
Meaning you can go to somebody's funeral or memorial, a person suddenly passes away, and you go and you're like, dang, that's really sad. So and so's mother died, so and so's boyfriend died, so and so's girlfriend died, wife, husband. Oh, it's so sad. My heart goes out to them, and it puts you in a space of reflection for a few moments to have you think, I'm going to be more intentional with the people I love, and I'm going to make sure everybody know I love them every day.
Mhm.
And as fast as the repass is
Just
over,
like that.
you back in the swing of your old habits. So it really is not taking each other for granted. It really is a conscious effort that you have to make. And to Jelani's point, to your point, you have to be aware. You have to be aware of yourself. You have to know, okay, look, I'm really out here just coasting along like I got all the time in the
Or
world.
you had to have like a self reminder
Mm-hmm.
alarm. It's kind of like going off in your head, like, when was the last time you talked to such and such?
Mm-hmm.
Or when was the last time you and her went out on like a coffee date or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That thing that she really loved to do. When was the last time you did that?
Right. Right. And I want to speak to, although it has been years since we were in the space of dating and things like that.
Thank
But when
God.
you just shut up. I enjoyed it. It was wonderful for
I
me.
know dating you was fun.
Okay.
I'm talking
We
about
had to take a good
dating
time.
today era.
But, you know, when you are in pursuit of a person, when you're dating, and you're getting to know each other and you're building, you build the foundation of those types of things in the beginning, because it will evolve. Where when you're first starting out, it may be, they're used to me calling them in the morning and saying good morning, this, that, and the third, and you just build on that. So it's important for you to start to identify and recognize the patterns you're going to take to ensure you don't take each other for granted in the beginning. Like in the beginning.
Which is kind of hard because when you're in that beginning stage, it's all about going all out to impress that person or give them your best, you the version of you, so they can like, oh, I want to latch on to this person for a little bit longer.
Well,
So, but yeah, I've seen people where they like for like a hot 2 weeks they on it, and then all of a sudden they on to the next. It's like their interest levels just completely just fell off.
So if we could give you a piece of advice, I mean, again, it might go in one ear and go out the other, but build on, don't try to come out of the gate with your absolute 100% representative of who you are, knowing that's come out the gate your authentic self. That's the best way I can put it.
What you
come out of the
what
gate,
you give it on a daily basis.
That's right. What you give come out of the gate with your authentic self. Your authentic self is enough. If it's not enough for the person you're in pursuit of, they are not the person for you. Because I'll say this, we didn't have too many challenges transitioning from friendship to relationship to marriage. We didn't have too many challenges with the authentic person. And I think part of that is because we were friends first. So with friends, you typically, if it's a good solid friendship, you will always be your authentic self because you can be your walls down self with your friends.
Correct.
So, we didn't put on the airs, but I won't say that dating in the past that I haven't come out of the gate like the cute eater at the restaurant and always snatched and this, that, and the third. But that is a lot to maintain when it isn't your regular day to day, and also recognizing that my regular day to day was enough. So just, I think that's important too. So I do want to ask you though, Mr. Wilson, since we did reference that show when we, that kind of gave us the inspiration for that, this topic. The couple in the show, they previously dated and they came back together when the young lady had to come back home and take care of some things for her father. And they reconnected with each other and they had all of these different challenges and things like that. So what are some of the things like just related to this subject matter do you think that they did well to, by not taking each other for granted?
Well, one first thing they did a real good job was communicating where each other were at that particular time of their life. So there was no confusion on what their intention was. So the guy he had what, two girls? That in the end he was recently divorced. So when she came into the picture, he didn't want to. He wanted to pursue her, but he didn't want to pursue to the point that it looked like he's trying to replace his wife immediately or give off
the mother of his children.
Right, give off the impression to his daughters.
Right.
That here's your new mama.
Yep.
So he had to like move very strategically in how he pursued her. He pursued her to the point where she knew that she was wanted.
She wasn't in competition with he was able to maintain a co-parenting relationship with the ex-wife. Now they had a very strange dynamic, okay? All right? Because the ex-wife could come in and out his house and I was just like, hold on, what is happening? But here to the communications point, they had a conversation, him and the girl he was dating or reconnecting with had a conversation because it bothered her. Rightly so, it bothered me too. I'm in the house with you and your ex just rolling up in there like, hey, But they had a conversation about it. She expressed how she felt, and her feelings were valid, absolutely valid. Because I remember that scene when they were in the house together, her and the boyfriend, and the ex-wife used the key and came through the door and caught him in the kitchen. Yeah. And my face was like, well, now hold on now. What is she doing here? You know what I'm saying? But they were able to talk through that and get through that, so much so to the point where the girlfriend or the new friend, because they hadn't quite become exclusive yet, but they were reconnecting. As I mentioned, they had a history and they reconnected. And so she was able to forge a relationship with his children. Some resistance from the older child for a little while. Boy, that was a stupid situation.
She needed to get checked.
But yeah, but she was able to she was able to forge a relationship with them. And so that, that is really why we kind of use that to kind of put this topic together. And plus we know people who are in situations where they're being taken for granted, or they're taking their significant other for granted, and we just kind of want to bring a little gentle, I like to call it a post-it note on your forehead. Hey, don't take each other for granted, you know?
I mean, but it can easily happen.
It absolutely can.
Because if you establish this great relationship, then eventually a lot of us, me, myself, have done in the past is throw that thing in cruise control. And you forget you forget what you had to do to cultivate that relationship to the level that it's at.
And that's good. I think that's something we have to be reminded of. Y'all gotta forgive me. My hair is in my face, and I'm like, God, it's in my face. Like you can't see it,
like a Tourette's
but it's in my face. It's like it's a little piece of hair that just keeps traveling from over here to my face, and so I keep trying to like move it out of the way, get it out of my face because it's in my face. But that's a good reminder. Like it's a good reminder that like with anything, if you whatever anything you build, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. If you're building a relationship, if you are, starting a new job, a new business, whatever, anything you build has to be maintained. When you buy your car, do you have endless gas for life? Does your oil change itself? Does your brake pads regenerate new brake pads when you uh, drive it a certain amount of time? Like, no, you have to maintain it. You have to go and get it serviced. You have to keep it clean, all of that. And so if these natural things that you use to get through the day have to be maintained, what's the difference in your relationships? Now, what you did in the beginning may evolve, right? Like you might not do for them what you did for them at 21, at 43. You may do something different, but it'll be something that's adding on to what you've done before. You don't just drop off, right? And so it's really easy, like I said, especially now in this era of, it's really weird. Like a space that I'm in is I'm really trying to understand why there is such an extreme need for us to be entertained and for us to be stimulated. Like why isn't it enough for us to be stimulated by our natural environments? Like, and I say that to myself loudly because I can spend hours. I'm not even lying to you. I can spend hours with this thing right here, like this, hours. And you look at the clock says 7:15, you look up the clock says 11:19, literally hours. And why is that? And so you're doing that, and so then everything else around you is being neglected, including the people that you should be pouring out, what's been portioned in you to give. So that's all. You got anything you want to add to it, sir?
I'm good.
It's a short episode tonight, but we was gonna bring y'all this episode because we promised you that.
Go get it to you.
And season 2 coming to a close in December. So stay tuned. I think our next episode, let me look at my good trusty calendar here. I think our next episode is scheduled for, yes, December 17th. And we have guests joining us because, as we promised you at the beginning of the season, we were supposed to do some collabs, but with our transition and things, we weren't able to get the people that we wanted to get involved the way we wanted them to. But we are going to close out the season with the collaboration, special guests in December. So we hope you guys will tune in, and look out for some promo about season 3. And if you haven't, I know I've mentioned it on a couple of other episodes. If you are interested in joining the It Takes Work community for our 2024 couples retreat to Aruba, July 25th through the 30th, 6 days, 5 nights, all inclusive, please visit our website at mysistersoulproductions.com and click on the It Takes Work page to learn more. You can shoot us an email at ittakeswork.itw@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Instagram, itw_it-takes-work, and we will be happy to get you a quote. The deposit for 2 people is $265 per person to lock in your rate, and then you can pay down your trip. Final payment will be due June 10th, 2024. 6 days, 5 nights. Flights included, lodging, all-inclusive amenities. I mean, come on.
Can't wait.
You owe it to yourself. And the best time to travel to Aruba is between April and August, so you will be going at a prime time. Plus, you can reconnect, not just for married couples, not just for, you know, exclusive couples. Whatever your coupleship is between you and Jesus, y'all come on, go on this trip. Reconnect. Enjoy each other. All right. We're going to let y'all have y'all moment back because we don't know what day you might be listening to this. And I don't want to say your evening. We don't know what day, what moment, what period they in. We're going to let you have your ears back. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys again in a few weeks. December season finale. Take care, everybody.